Welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of November 11th, 2019. Every week we chat about the things parents are talking about, complaining about, and obsessing about right now. I'm Nicole and I'm here with Terri Morrow.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
This week we're complaining about kids' annoying habits and obsessing about keeping up with trends, plus taking a couple of breaks for an entertainment discussion and a recommendation roundup. But today we're talking about parenting do-overs.
Uh-oh.
So I was inspired by the recent time change that we had where we set our clocks back an hour. And I was thinking, is there anything in our children's lives or in our parenting jobs that we wish that we could have the clock set back and we could do over? And I know that there are definitely some times in my kids' lives that I definitely would like to have those hours back and make a different decision. So I think in particular, the one for us would be my daughter's elementary school. If I could have chosen another school at the time when we moved here, I would have. I definitely would have made that, made another decision rather than writing down the name of the elementary school that she went to on the inter-district transfer. Yeah. So how about you guys?
I would like to go back to the point at which the screen time spun out of control and stop it. But I don't know how to find that, or, I can't pinpoint when it was or how it happened. So it would have to be like a forensic investigation and then a do-over, I think.
Yeah. How about you, Terri?
Oh my goodness. Millions and millions of them. Every decision I ever made. But this is the problem with this, is that you can never know. I would need one of those like sliding doors type things where you can sort of see how both things played out and then go back and change to the original. But you can never do that. That's not part of the magic. So it seems to me like there are things where I made the wrong decision, but I have no idea what the repercussions of the other decision would be. Possibly it would be worse. There's no way to know. So I would constantly be in a, should I change it? Should I not change it? What if I change it and it's worse? I second guess myself enough now with no ability to do anything about it. If I actually had an ability to make a do-over, I would just be a complete wreck. I would be in the dark room with the rag over my eyes 24/7.
Yeah.
So I've just sort of resolved to be happy with the way we did things. There's certainly decisions I wonder whether it was the right decision, but I have no confidence that the other decision would necessarily have been right either.
Right.
I don't have the confidence that it would have been right, but I know that it would have been better.
Yeah.
On some level.
Yeah. I don't know, but maybe there's a kid at that school who would have been hard on your kid, but you have no way of knowing that. I don't know.
Oh, couldn't have been worse than what she had.
Maybe the bad teacher or the bad principal would have transferred to that school.
Yes.
And,
the thing is that it wasn't just one person. It was the entire system as a whole.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, I think that's kind of the big, that's how I know that there were other schools that were functioning a lot better. So yeah, that's definitely a time in my daughter's life. My son's life, I wish we had made the decision for him to go away to university in his first year.
Now that you're experiencing that with your daughter.
Yeah. I feel bad that it was the best decision we thought at the time, but now in retrospect, I feel bad that but then I guess he wouldn't be in the situation he is now. So, it's, there's plus and minuses, but I really do feel like we should have given him that opportunity to go away and live away from home and experience that whole part of his life. But he did in other ways.
Did he want it and was denied, or was it not something that he really cared a lot about?
I think he really wanted to live away from home. that first year, but we felt at the time he wasn't necessarily ready for that. Mm-hmm. So we had him, stay home for that first year. But in retrospect, I think maybe that would have helped him in other ways.
Right.
So,
like a maturity factor.
Yeah. So I don't know. But then, things have been working out really well for him. So obviously this was the direction he should have gone in. And I just, Right. So those are kind of two big moments where we made that decision for him. And I was like, what if we had gone the other way?
Right. I never was in the situation of having to decide whether my kids should start kindergarten, like what age they should start, because they are spring babies.
Yes.
I never had that like late summer, early fall, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? I feel like that would be such a hard decision. Mm-hmm. And that would be something that you would, look back on a lot and wonder. And, and I sort of deliberately tried to make sure that wouldn't happen. Obviously there's not a whole lot of control you have over those things, but I did sort of try to avoid having to make that decision. I just worried about it preemptively, and then luckily I didn't have to deal, but I feel like that would have been hard.
Yeah. I know, I have a friend that still is just, she feels like she made the wrong decision for her son, and it's just, her son has since graduated and gone on to college, but it just still eats her up that, Yeah,
I know someone who's the child is 40 years old, and the parents are still like, probably shouldn't have done that.
That will be me. So much to second guess.
Exactly.
Just so tough. It's like sort of those things where, do you ever go to the doctor, and whether it's for yourself or your child, and they're like, well, these are the options. Mm-hmm. What would you like? Yeah. And I'm always like, I don't know. I am not a doctor. You tell me, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes when it comes to parenting or schooling, there is no doctor to tell you what to do, but boy, it would be nice, right?
It would be. Well, but then oftentimes, and I do this with doctors too, they do finally tell you and you go, nah, not going to do that. So, there's certainly in my kids' schooling all along were learned professionals telling me what the right thing to do was. And if I didn't think it was the right thing to do, I didn't do it. So, and I think most of that was the right decision. There's not too much I would do over, but there are a few things I wish I had known more or had been able to provide the people working with me with more information so that we could have all come up with the right decision together. I do wonder about some big decisions that got made, but I would not change them because I think that the other way might, unless I could see how the other way played out. But, I guess there are some little things. I do wonder if I should have picked a different instrument for my daughter to play. I was wanting her to play, when she started in elementary school, I was wanting her to play something that would get her into the marching band. And the music teacher said, oh, trombone. And one of her friends was playing trombone. So I thought, perfect. But then I later found out that guy just liked trombone. So it wasn't necessarily the right one for her. And it's heavy and it's hard to play. And while she did indeed get in the marching band, I don't know how much she actually played it in the marching band because it was hard to play physically. Yeah. Plus, then you're having to march.
Yeah.
So she swung it around, but maybe she would have done better with the clarinet. Maybe she would have done better with the flute. I didn't want flutes because I know there's 100 flutes. But, as it turned out, the band will let pretty much anybody in. So I do wonder about that. Maybe she would still be playing if we had gotten her an easier instrument. Mm-hmm. She wanted to play violin. Maybe I should have let her play what she wanted. But I thought,
that's pretty hard.
I'm making this decision for myself. No. But she could have been an orchestra and then she wouldn't have to be marching. Maybe she would have been a violin savant. Who knows?
Right.
And with my son, I don't know that there's really... There was one job, I've been talking a lot about getting them jobs, and there was one job that sounded perfect. I talked to the guy. The guy seemed to understand that he had special needs. And then things went squirrely, and the job ended very quickly. And there was a day where I went and brought all his identifying information and had it uploaded there at the job site, even though I'd already done it at home. And in the back of my mind is this constant fear that it was just some sort of scam to get his information and sell it or something. So I've been haunted by that. I would do that over. I would just not have gotten involved with that job at all. They didn't treat him nice, and then they fired him right away. And I never got a good explanation of it. It was just a terrible experience all the way around that I hope will not turn out to have been something even worse. So I'd do that over. I would do that over in a minute.
Yeah.
So there's a number of little tiny things that maybe I would do over, but the big things, as much as I wonder if they were the right thing, the idea of doing them over is kind of scary.
Right. It's scary. Oh, any way you look at it, it's scary.
It is. So,
I guess that's where we'll leave it for today's round one. Tune in tomorrow for our very light and happy entertainment themed round two.
Where we will complain about TV shows instead of our actual lives.
We complain about TV show, and one of them is about moral philosophy. Anyway, later in the week, you can find out what we're complaining about, obsessing about, and recommending right now. We're always interested in what you have to say, so drop us a comment on our website, our Facebook page, or Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.